Hello, Andrew.
Hey Frank, good evening. How you doing?
Hey, good.
Good.
Did you get a chance to review any of the sharing from last week?
The only thing I got to see was those six simple words, but I didn't get enough time to.
Okay, that's fine. What did you get from what you did get a chance to review? Any impression? Any realization?
Well, those were six simple words that we follow, six things, and if we do that, but I can't remember the rest. I'm sorry, Frank.
Yeah, if I can find it, I'll rewrite it. I have it here, but I'll rewrite it. Let's see. Okay. So the fifth words that we were talking about, it's called the six golden words in action.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It is the materialization of a person of wisdom. A person of wisdom, when they go about doing anything, will do it simply, right? Do it joyfully, do it trustingly, do it lightly, do it consistently, and do it wholeheartedly. Wholeheartedly. Okay. We want to do anything, do it simply. Don't make a don't make it too complicated, and you never get it done. Do it joyfully. Okay, that is the a positive energy. Do it trustingly. Believe that that's the right thing to do. We will eventually succeed if we do it trustingly. Do it lightly. Okay. Do it consistently and do it wholeheartedly.
Yeah, very good.
All of that is actually can be summarized by one word. All these six can be summarized with one word called diligence. Okay, diligence. But instead of just saying be diligent, we'll break it down into six words, and you will find that they fit nicely within the context of the word diligence. Diligent, do it diligently. Do it simply, joyfully, trustingly, lightly, consistently, wholeheartedly. Hello, chị Oanh. Thank you for joining our Zoom. You are on mute. Okay. So last couple of weeks we've been talking about different levels of awareness corresponding to different levels of wisdom. Okay, and different levels of wisdom give rise to different energy, and those energy basically represent the mentality of a person. The energy of wisdom is also the mentality, okay? And the energy of a wisdom of a person is the mentality. A person of wisdom level one has the awareness of level one, right? Whereas awareness level one is recognized that things and people and phenomenon are good or bad, right or wrong, true or false. Okay, that dichotomy, that is awareness level one. But a person of wisdom level one will pick the positive out of the negative, and they will focus on of all the mentality and attitude that a person can feel or think. They focus on the energy of honoring gratitude. Okay, we will learn later that the energy of honoring gratitude is a positive one that will most likely bring about positive outcome in life. Okay, wisdom level one is picking the positive instead of the negative. And in terms of energy, a person of wisdom level one has the mentality of honoring gratitude. They honor everything. They are grateful for everything, especially when negative things comes into their life. If they experience a negative outcome, then they will draw the lesson from that and be grateful for the lesson. And so every these undesirable circumstance become desirable when we learn to draw the lesson and be grateful for it. You don't want to be grateful for the negative thing. You want to be grateful for the lesson that we draw from the undesirable circumstance. Okay. And as a person um, wisely rotate among different levels of wisdom, they can at any point initiate level two wisdom. Okay, level two wisdom rises from the awareness that the root cause of life begins with me. The root cause of life begins with me, and I am not at fault, and other people is not at fault. Because at the moment of my choosing, the I made the best choice possible given what I know, and so I don't need to blame anybody. And a person of level two awareness, while understanding that the root cause of life begin with me, will begin to create their own reality by inventing and creating mental images uh, and start to monitor what they hear and see and start to create what they want to say and what they know based on what they hear and see. Okay, they take into their own hand basically the outcome of life by planting positive mental images at the onset. That is the person of wisdom level two associating with the energy of magnanimity. We're gonna probably get into that in a little bit. And a person of level three, awareness and wisdom, a person of wisdom of level three is a person who has the awareness of emptiness of being. That deep within the core of our being, there is the already always hearing, the already always seeing, already always talking, and already always knowing. It is always there. It is called the truth within us because it doesn't change. It will always there. But not everybody is fortunate enough to have that awareness. Okay, we'll learn a little bit later too. How is it that some people are fortunate enough to naturally have this awareness and others don't? But it doesn't matter if we don't have the awareness. What we have done is we have studied wisdom. And a person of wisdom will proactively reach or strive to enter that state by becoming aware of the already always hearing, the already always seeing, by noticing, okay, paying attention not to the content of the hearing and seeing, but paying attention of, and becoming mindful of the hearing and the seeing. Okay, so when one becomes aware or one starts to notice the hearing and the seeing, one become aware of the knowing and the talking, then one can experience that state of emptiness, that delay from the reception of the message to the thinking and the feeling that arrive after that. And the benefit of a person who can, with wisdom, proactively choose to pay attention to the hearing and the seeing, the talking and the knowing, the benefit to that is they will feel a sense of serenity, which is inner peace. And then after that space ends, whatever next thought that comes up, whatever next feeling, whatever next behavior tend to be positive and desirable. Okay. Those are the three levels of wisdom. Level 1, 2, 3. We will learn about level 4 and 5 later. Okay. But that's what we have for now. And a person who can rotate among those three levels, level 1, level 2, level 3, at appropriate times, will manifest that in a physical or material way as a six golden words in action. Okay. A wise person, and when we look at them, they have a material expression of simplicity, they have a material expression of joy, of trust, of lightness, of consistency, and wholeheartedness when they do things. Okay, so the six golden word in action is in the expression, the material expression of a person of wisdom. Okay, so today we will go back and take a look at the structure or the human structure. Okay, remember the human structure. We have this will within us, and then we have the human nature around it. There's 16 human nature relating to our reception, our imagination, our expression, our cognition, relating to our wealth and beauty and identity, consumption and rest. Our human nature, it has desire, temperament, perception, pride, inquiry, and ethos and judgment. Okay. And then outside of that, we have the feelings, emotion, which is the 84,000 bubbles of illusion. And then the body containing all of that. Okay. So this is how basically a map of human nature. This is also the human construct. It is in a Buddhist sense. This is how the human being is made up. And we as human beings, we experience life through the interaction of our different natures, our personality, our perception, our cognition, right? Our experience of life is experienced through the human nature. And so we gotta wonder, okay? Hang on for a second. Mình Đức cho bố mình. Anh bảo lại. Hang on. Okay. I need to check my notes. Take some notes. Okay. 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 So now that we have learned the concept of wisdom and mentality, let's look at a little closer at our wisdom, of our mind and our emotion. Okay, so see where they come from. Okay, why is it that we think the way that we do? Why is it that we tend to feel the way we do? Okay, and if we can understand where our mind and emotion come from, then maybe we can begin to take more fuller ownership of our mind and our emotion, and thereby take control of the rest of our life. So consider these words, and you can write the following words down with me. 3 words. accumulation, cultivation, and acquisition. Okay. So the verb or the verb form would be acquire, cultivate, and accumulate. Accumulation, cultivation, and acquisition. Accumulation, cultivation, and acquisition is a process by which we come to hear and see, talk, and know. Okay? So is it not through the process of accumulating, cultivating, and acquiring of knowledge and information from the external world by way of hearing and seeing, talking and knowing that determine our perception of reality? In other words, is it not through the process of accumulation, cultivation, and acquisition of knowledge and information from the external world by hearing and seeing that determine what we know and how we talk? Right? In other words, how we perceive this world, what we say, what we know, comes from how we have acquired information through hearing and seeing. That makes up, right, in other words, that makes up our inner awareness. Okay? That makes up our inner awareness. In other words, it is the seed. Okay? Our inner awareness is the seed. Okay? And then how about in our interaction with people? Why is it that when we meet another person, we behave a certain way, we feel a certain way about them? Sometimes we are attracted to another person, and sometimes we feel very repulsive to another person. Is it not our attraction to another person, or here we're going to call it affinity? Okay, affinity is a word that means attraction. Okay, how strong of an attraction is to another person. Is it not our affinity or our attraction with another person that will determine the quality of our relationship with that person? Right? You have a friend that you really like. You have a coworker that you just don't want to, sit next to, much less work with. And those affinities, those interaction or the quality of that attraction will determine the experience of life that we have with respect to that person. So in this perspective, our affinity with other people can be considered the condition, okay? And then we get to take a look about the outcome of our life. Okay, so the outcome of life is our life outcome. Okay, sometimes the life outcome that we experience is positive. Sometimes the outcome of life we experience is negative and undesirable. Okay. Would you agree that our experience of life is in a big part related to the relationship or the attraction with other people, as well as the awareness that we have about ourselves? Right? We talk about inner awareness. Okay. The seed, remember the formula, formula of causality? The seed will lead to the fruit. Whatever seed that we plant, we're going to reap the fruit of that same seed. If we sow the seed of inner awareness that is wise, okay, then we're going to experience the outcome of life that reflects wisdom. If we sow the seed of positive mentality, then we're going to reap the fruit of also positive life outcome. But we also know that having a seed is not enough to bear the fruit. There is the in-between part. There's the condition. And when it comes to human life and experience, most of our experience is related to people. Whether it's our family life or our work life or our life out there in society and on the street, it is our affinity with other people that is the condition upon which we will root the fruit of life. You guys get the relationship so far? The seed, the condition of the fruit. And when it comes to human experience, it is our inner awareness, our affinity with people that determines the outcome of our life, our human experience. And so all of these is actually causality. And causality is one of those laws that govern our life, and we cannot escape it. We can only understand it and align ourselves with it. And so in order for us to reap the outcome of life that we want. Okay. And we already learned about human nature, which in the scientific term, that would be like our personalities. We learn about the mind, okay? Our mind analyze and differentiate. We learn about our emotion. We feel positive and negative emotion. And our experience of life is pretty much that. We experience life as positive or negative or balanced. And it is through the process of accumulating, cultivating, and acquiring knowledge and information that determines our inner awareness. It is the process of accumulating, cultivating, and acquisition that determine our inner awareness. This is the seed within us. Yeah? The seed within a person is our inner awareness, and our inner awareness comes to be as a result of the process of accumulating, cultivating, and acquiring information and messages from the external world. And so that means that if we have been accumulating, cultivating, and acquiring positive seed, for example, this is the seed within us, right? There's another, let's write it, I'll just use it in here. Okay, the seed, let's use another color. Good seed is positive mental images. Okay, positive mental images. Good seed is also from the scientific perspective, good seed is positive mental images. From the moral philosophy perspective, the good seed is the favorable source concept. And then today, we will learn about another type of good seed called positive fortune and merit. Okay, positive fortune and merit. So back to the human construct, beside from our personality, beside from our human nature, that carry a positive or negative polarity. Remember, all of these natures, if we go positive, we will attract positivity into our life. If we go negative, we attract negativity into our life. But beside from this personality, this human nature, there is an invisible energy that we accumulate, cultivate, and acquire that will also determine the quality of our life. And those energy comes from let's see if we can the idea of fortune or fortunate. Have you ever experienced a situation that you feel totally fortunate to experience? You look at another person, let's say they have a lot of great health, they have a great wealth, they have great relationship, and they're positive, and things in life seem to go their way. They win the lottery. They uh, they make an investment, and the investment, multiply by 1,000%. A team wins a game, and we say, "Oh, they're very fortunate." Okay, this is a common language that we use every day, and because human being, we have this innate understanding of, when somebody is fortunate. Another way of saying fortunate is if we use a religious reference, blessed. Oh, I feel very blessed. I'm blessed to have this. I'm blessed to have that. I am fortunate to have this. I'm fortunate to have achieved that. At the same time, we have the concept of unfortunate, right? Unfortunate. We are walking on the street, minding our own business, obeying the law, yet a car will climb the sidewalk and run into us. We get in a terrible accident, and we say, "Oh, that's an unfortunate accident." Unlucky, right? Unfortunate, it comes from word like misfortunate or misfortune. Oh, experience a misfortune. Right, so when it comes to causality, the cause and effect, when it comes to causality, science is very good at helping us explain causality of the worldly matters. Right? Science is very good at explaining causality of worldly matter, worldly perspective. And we apply causality every day in our life, right? If we want a car, if we want a house, that is the outcome, that is the fruit of life, then we understand how to apply causality. We have to make money, we have to work. Those are the cause and the condition that will bring us about the outcome of having a car or a house. If we want good health as the fruit of our life, then we understand that the seed of having a good health equates to knowledge about health, knowledge about exercise, knowledge about nutrition, knowledge about our human body. If we want anything, okay, we understand causality. However, sometimes there are things that we simply not can understand by the causality from a worldly perspective, right? Why is it that some children are born with congenital disease? They experience the outcome that is negative, even before they do anything that's negative. As an adult, if we get sick, then we know the cause of the getting sick. Okay, maybe because we've been out in the cold, we have not taken care of our health, and so we get sick. That's the outcome of it. We understand that the fruit that we reap is the consequence of not taking care of our health, right? If we get into a financial situation, we can trace back to all the causes. Let's say we get bankrupt, and we can trace back to our decision on finances. Even if in our relationship with our partner, our marriage partner, for example. Okay, if it's happy, we can trace back to the causes of our inner awareness, our affinity with our partner. But what if a child who is born into a family of only one parent? The child, how do you trace the cause of that child? Right? And so when or even things like walking down the street, okay? We understand the law, we understand safety, we obey the law, right? The outcome is that we all want, safety when we are traveling in traffic. We obey the law, that is the seed. And so for most of the time, we are safe. But on occasion, we may have been planting the seed of safety. We have been accumulating and cultivating and acquiring the seed of safety and traffic law, yet we could be sitting at a traffic light and a bigger car will slam into us. Or we're just walking on the street and another person would climb the curb and run into a person walking on the sidewalk. And so we wonder, okay, how can we manage those kind of causality that seem to be out of our hand? It's as if somebody's fault, right? Right? We're walking down the street. Yes, on one hand, we can say I'm the cause. I put myself on the street at that moment in time. I made the choice to get up in the morning. I made the choice to take that route instead of another route. I made the choice of getting into this car instead of another car. And so whatever happened to me is the root cause of life begin with me. That's fine. That is awareness level 2. That is taking control of our own fate. However, it still seems like something is missing, right? Why is it that car hit us and not another car that hit us? Why is it that we are born to that parent and not another set of parents? When we talk about a person's, let's say, physical appearance or our health, the doctors and the biologists would say that everything, basically traced down to your DNA. And you look the way you do because you acquired the DNA from your parent. If you have any congenital health problem, that is because we have acquired that from our parent. And so they blame our parent. But when it comes to our parent, out of all the possible DNA combination that we as a human being can receive from our parent, why that particular one? Why those parents and not other sets of parents? And so science has a limitation when it comes to explaining causality of many things in our life. And so in order for us to have a deeper understanding of causality, we have to borrow more than just the worldly view. Okay, whereas science help us understand much of the worldly perspective. There is a limitation. There is sometimes science cannot explain. When it comes to human life view, human life perspective, not only do we apply science, but we need to use moral philosophy to try to understand philosophy, to try to understand human life experience. The triangle of reality is one of the tools that we use, one of the moral philosophical tool that we use to understand human life experience. And at the same time, we borrow from the religion and faith to help better understand the causality of human life and experience. Okay? That is why religion play a big part in most people's lives. There are more people who subscribe to some religious belief than people who believe in no religion at all. Okay, so in order to help us better understand human life and experience in a more complete and more comprehensive way, we're going to tap into a little bit more of a religious perspective today. Okay, so back to this, the idea of to be fortunate, it is to be blessed. In a Christian language, it is say to be blessed. I'm blessed by God. Okay, when we have great health, great wealth, great relationship, we can stop and we can say, oh, I am blessed. Okay, or if you're not religious, they can say you're fortunate. These are common language that people use daily. We intuitively understand that to be fortunate or to be blessed is to receive a desirable outcome that seems to be outside of our immediate causality, that seem to be outside of our own immediate control. I'm blessed to be born with two loving parents. Other people are not so blessed when they are born to single parent or no parent, and they're basically orphan. We are blessed to have a house over a roof. Other people are not so blessed. Okay, when we say things like blessed or fortunate, we are basically attributing the good things to something else, something greater than ourselves, like usually God. Okay, but thing about God, okay, is that God gives us a bunch of principles and law. God gives us the law of causality. If you believe in God, then God created the whole universe, God created everything, including the laws of the universe that govern our life. God also gives us free will. And God also gives us the golden rule. Oops. Golden rule. The golden rule is nothing more than a statement on causality. The golden rule says, treat others the way you want to be treated, or do unto others that which you want to be done unto yourself. The golden rule basically say, plant the seed, you're going to get the fruit. The reaping and the harvesting is of the same type of fruit or seed. That's what the golden rule basically say. Right? The Bible talks about that. That which you sow, so shall you reap. That which you sow, so shall you reap. Whatever seed that you plant, you're going to reap the fruit of that same seed. So if you sow the fruit of positivity, you're going to reap. If you sow the seed of positivity, you're going to reap the fruit of positivity. If you sow the seed of negativity, we're going to reap the fruit of negativity. If we treat people positively, we tend to get treated positively. We treat people poorly, we will be treated poorly. Okay, that is within the confine of the worldly perspective. We understand that, and we apply that all the time. However, it does not explain why some babies are immediately born to negative circumstances or positive circumstances, because they haven't done anything yet, right? So if we are to understand causality on a much greater scale and a much more comprehensive fashion, then we have to allow for the possibility that maybe we did plant those seeds. If we are born to a circumstance that is positive or negative, maybe because we did plant the seed in the past before we were born. Okay, so if we allow for that, we have to borrow not only from the Christian perspective, but we have to borrow from the Buddhist and the Hindu perspective of possibility of multiple lifetimes. Okay, even the Jewish have some understanding of this. In the Judaism, the Jewish religious perspective, they associate sickness with sins, especially things like leprosy. Okay, they associate illnesses with sins committed in the past. And so, if a baby is born with some illnesses, what that indirectly say is that maybe that child is, in their past lifetime have committed some sin. If a person is born to great fortune, then maybe in their past lives they have planted some good seed. They've done some good things for other people, and now they are reaping the fruit of the good seed that they have planted. The reaping and the sowing. The Bible says, and on judgment day, every hair on your head will be counted. Okay. It does not, we cannot escape what we do. We will always reap the fruit of the seed that we planted. Basically, that's what golden rules say. And so in our philosophy, beside, in our human construct, in our philosophy, beside from the positive and negative energy that we give to ourselves when we think about our inner awareness, our mentality and our thoughts and our mind, we also carry within us, three energy. Energy of good fortune, which is associated with the good deed that we have done in the past. We also carry with us the energy of bad fortune, good fortune and bad fortune. Bad fortune is associated with the bad deed that we've done in the past. It's like a bank account. We have a bank account of good seed, we have a bank account of bad seed. If the bank account of good seed is really full and overfilling, then we can draw on the good fortune and we experience good fortune in our day. But if our bank account of bad seed is very full, it overfills, then we may experience more negativity than positivity in our life. Do you guys get that so far? That's the only way to explain why a human being experiences positive and negativity that can seem to go outside of our control, yet remain within our control. Because the root cause of life begins with me. Christianity also have the concept of original sin. Okay, there's the idea that Adam and Eve, the first human beings, right? God created human beings. God created the first human being called Adam and Eve. He named him Adam and Eve, and Adam and Eve basically sinned. Okay, when they ate the fruit of knowledge of good and evil. That is an analogy for knowing good and evil. Yeah, knowing good and evil, meaning you have the capacity to do good and do evil. There's good deed and bad deed. And after Adam and Eve passed, they died, and somehow the sin passed down to us, and we inherit the sin from our parents, which is a little weird. But when you think about the possibility of previous lifetimes, then guess what? We are Adam and Eve. Okay, we may have committed some deed in the past, good deed or bad deed, and we are now either paying the price or reaping the reward for our past actions. Do you guys get that? Because that is the only way that we can take full and complete ownership for our life. That is the only way for root cause of life begin with me to actually make sense. That we take responsibility for the good and the bad things in this life, not only because of the seed that we have planted in this lifetime, but the seed that we have planted in the past lifetime, as a consequence of the golden rule. If you perform good deed, we acquire, accumulate, cultivate good seed, we amass good fortune. If we perform bad deed, we hurt other people, we will acquire, accumulate, cultivate bad fortune. And so those fortunate or unfortunate events that seem to happen to us outside of our immediate control, it's actually the fruit that arise out of the seed that we have planted in the past. So we are actually in control. We just don't know it. We don't know it because we do not have an awareness and perception of it just yet. But now that through learning about the wisdom, through understanding mentality, right, through understanding causality, we are now aware that, oh, okay, everything that happened to me, the outcome in life today is a fruit, and those fruit have been planted by me because God says so. Through the law of causality. Okay, but God also gives us the principle of light. Okay, if we focus on the light, if we focus on positivity, then we're going to reap the reward of light. But if we focus on negativity, we sow seeds of resentment, seed of hate, we sow seed of negativity, guess what? We're going to reap the fruit of those negativity. Right? So if anybody has ever experienced any suffering in life, if anybody have ever experienced pain that's sometimes beyond our ability to bear, and if anybody has ever blamed God, now why does God let me experience all of this negativity in life? If God is good, then why am I experiencing negativity? If God is good, why are there evil in the world? If God is good, why are there war and suffering in the world? The question is does God discriminate? Does God love one person more than another? If, let's say, two football team, okay, two football team are playing a game, and they both kneel down and pray to God to let them win. Whom will God let win? If team A wins, does it mean that God loves team A more than team B? Or God doesn't love team B? No, God is very fair. God is very loving. God's grace is all abound, infinite. But the person who wins is a person who has accumulated, cultivated, and acquired more of the grace that God has given. Because the greatest gift that God gives to anybody is not the outcome, but the rule, the golden rule, okay? The law of causality. That is the only way that God can be fully loving and fully fair at the same time. He gives us this tool, this engine that operates our life and experience, and all we got to do is apply it, align ourselves with it, and reap the reward. And so that explains why sometimes fortunate event happen to us and why sometimes unfortunate event happen to us. It is because we carry within our being, as a human being, we carry that energy of good fortune and bad fortune as a consequence of the good deed or bad deed that we have committed in the past. That is the Christian perspective. That is a Christian perspective according to this philosophy. There's one more type of energy. Okay, beside from the good and bad deed that we perform. See, the thing is, if we have accumulated a lot of good fortune, accumulated a lot of good deed, Right? Not only do we experience positive in this life, but we can, go up when we die. Right? Essentially, that is the promise of heaven. Okay. If we have done a lot of good deed, we generally will more likely go up when we die. That which moved on beyond our body, when our body, fall apart, when we are dust to dust and ashes to ashes, something remain the same. Something does not change and something will move on. And we carry that energy either from lifetime to lifetime, or we go to heaven to a different place. So the general idea in the religious perspective, whether you're Buddhist or Hindu or any religion, is the general idea is that life can get better when we perform good deed and accumulate good fortune in terms of an energy that we carry. Okay? We can go up or we go down. At the same time, the Zen Buddhism has a third option. Instead of going up or going down, they say that you can go out. Because if you accumulate a lot of good fortune, good deed, you go up like a bank account. You're going to enjoy life up there. But because it is a bank account, it's limited. At some point, it's going to go down again if we use it all up and we don't create more. Get it? If we don't create more good fortune and we keep on using it, it's going to go down. Just look at the people who are born in great fortune, people who are born in great health, great wealth, great power, and they enjoy it. They enjoy it. They have great house, they have big car, they have great relationship. But instead of creating value, instead of performing good deed for other people, they don't accumulate any more good fortune, and they keep on using up the good fortune. After the time, they go down. Yeah. And so the Buddhists believe that in a great, you know, perspective, you can accumulate after millions of lifetime, and you can go up and spend, your time in heaven. But even then, that you will go down again if you don't keep on accumulating good fortune. And so they offered a third option that instead of going up or down, you go out. You leave the cycle of birth and rebirth. Okay, you leave the cycle of birth and rebirth, and that is another type of energy. It is not positive energy. It is not negative fortune energy. It is balanced merit. It is balanced merit. Merit, I-T. Okay, balanced merit. Whereas good fortune is accumulated when you do good deed for other people. What does that mean to do good deed for other people? Human being, we have desire and imagination. What do we desire? We desire things relating to wealth, beauty, identity, consumption, and rest. When we help another person satisfy their wealth, beauty, identity, consumption, and rest, we make them feel good, make them happy. We earn a seed in our good fortune account. On the other hand, people have desire and imagination. But if instead of satisfying their desire and imagination for health, wealth, beauty, identity, consumption, and rest, we make them feel good. We take away their wealth. We steal their money. We take away their beauty. We take away their sense of identity. We take away their consumption and rest. We make another person unhappy. We cause suffering. Then we earn a seed in the negative fortune account. Right? So good fortune and bad fortune is associated with satisfying a person's desire and imagination for this green line here. Help people feel happy, you earn a good fortune. Your life is going to get better. Make people suffer, you earn bad fortune. Your life is going to get bad. But that up and down, positive and negative is limited. You can earn a lot of good fortune and you use it and it goes away. But there is a third way, a way where instead of helping another person satisfy their desire and imagination for wealth, beauty, identity, consumption, and rest, we expand the awareness and perception. We expand another person's awareness and perception so that they will acquire a type of energy relating to wisdom, so that they have a choice. So that at the end of their life, they will have a choice of going up or down or out. And when we have helped enough people to expand their awareness and perception, we will also earn a type of energy called balance merit. It is not good or bad. It's not positive or negative. It is the energy relating to the true nature. It is the energy that helps another person make a clear choice when they die, that they can choose to leave and not come back into this cycle. They enter a Buddhist state of nirvana. They enter a state of not coming back. Okay, that is the Zen Buddhist perspective. In the Buddhist tradition, there are different types of enlightened beings. Okay, there is the Bodhisattva who have achieved a certain degree of enlightenment, but that Bodhisattva is still attached to the suffering of humanity. They will come back. They will reincarnate. Kind of like the Dalai Lama, the 47th Dalai Lama in Tibet. He has come back many times in order to guide humanity to a higher state of being. But at some point, a Bodhisattva may decide that enough is enough. He will choose to not come back. He doesn't go to heaven. He doesn't go to a place of pleasure and positivity. He just doesn't come back. And that's what happened to the Siddhartha, the Buddha, the awakened one, Siddhartha, Gautama Siddhartha from India. Basically, at the end of his life, after many millions of lifetime already, he's already amassed a great amount of fortune, right? Spiritual, fortune. He was born to wealth, right? He was a prince. He had a kingdom. He was born to great relationship. He had a wife and children. Basically, the Buddha was born to great fortune. He had everything that a person could want in this lifetime, in this life, the material aspect of fortune. But at the same time, he's also accumulated, cultivated, and acquired enough of the balanced merit to help him choose to not come back. Whereas most of us, if we have not acquired enough of this energy of wisdom, we will either come back and experience life again better than this time if we've been accumulating a lot of good fortune, the good deed. We can experience a great fortunate life. But the disadvantage of coming back into this life is that we get a chance to burn our fortune. Yeah. Not only we get a chance to burn our fortune, we get a chance to accumulate bad deed. We accumulate bad fortune, so that next life we will experience worse off experience in life. That's the advantage and disadvantage of reincarnation. We keep on enjoy, we suffer, we enjoy, we enjoy, we suffer, we enjoy. But in order to not suffer or enjoy and reach a true state of emptiness, nirvana, true liberation, that's called ultimate liberation, then we need to earn a credit called the balanced merit. Do you guys get that so far? And the way to acquire balanced merit is to help another person expand their awareness and perception, help them reach level 3 awareness and wisdom. Okay, awareness and wisdom is about understanding that emptiness of being, recognizing our true nature, and experience, inner peace. So you can create world peace, the true peace, not the pleasure that we experience in the human nature aspect. That's rest. Okay. Sometimes we confuse that. We suffer a lot, we work really hard, and we just want rest, and we call that peace, but that's not real peace. That's just temporary, just temporary leisure, a break from the suffering. But true peace arises from emptiness, where we are not in control by the mind and the emotion, when we are the master of our own fate and destiny. Okay, so three types of energy: good fortune, bad fortune, and balanced merit. And so, yeah, okay. And that is also, that is also subjected to the golden rule, subject to law of causality. Okay, even the balanced merit. If we cause other people to become wiser, to experience inner peace, then we will also earn a credit in our balance of merit account. Okay, what do you guys think? Lesson, impression, realization. Let me write those three NG.
So I have a question, Frank.
Yes, ma'am.
So when you do all the chores for your kid, does that mean you take away so you earn the fortune, right? You earn yeah, but then
Yeah.
and the kid don't earn anything.
Yeah, that's a good, yeah.
Is that good to assign chores for
Good
them?
question. Good question. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, whenever we experience anything that we consider positive and desirable, we are essentially using up these, these credit from our good fortune account, right? So when we perform a chore, household chore, for example, okay, we are performing a good deed, right? Then
Right.
somebody in the house is enjoying that, right? They are enjoying the cleaner house, the cleaner bed. Then everybody in the house is enjoying that. They are essentially using up their good fortune. And you, the person who's cleaning, is earning a credit in your fortune, kind of like currency. If we keep on doing it, if you notice, we keep on doing it, we'll earn a good fortune for ourselves. But the person who is enjoying it is gonna start to deplete it. If they don't, their life would actually start to go down. And you see that all the time. Children who grow up in the family where they're very spoiled, everything is done for them. Okay, everything is done for them. They get everything they want, and they are never taught to create value for other people. After a short while, the fortune will go away. Not only on a material sense, but on a more spiritual sense as well. They will run into circumstances that is undesirable, and they don't understand why. And they have no skill to regain it because if you don't give it to them. So if we teach our children to do chores in the family, we actually helping them develop that engine of value creation. They earn a positive seed in the good fortune account, and so their life get better. At the same time, they're building their capability and their competency. So when they have more responsibility, they become more mature. So when they go out into the world, they'll even create more value for the other people. Yeah.
How come the American parents pay them to do chores and we don't? Asian parents don't.
My wife does. It's just it's a way to teach the children to respect, money, to respect themselves, to earn. So it's a good, I think it's a good habit to teach them to earn as opposed to just enjoy without without
But you all,
feeling value.
but you paying them, that means they don't earn anything. They're not going to earn good fortune.
We are not able to translate, the actual value. We as a human being, we have no way of calculating the actual value of the money you pay in terms of the chore and the credit the invisible credit we're talking here. So so let's say a child does, like my son, okay, he does the laundry and mommy pays him, I think, $10 every week or something like that. Okay. And we may think that doing the laundry equate to $10, so it cancels out. But that's not true. Not only he is reaping the reward for doing the chore worth $10, that's okay, let's say that cancels out. But he is also earning a credit when he makes parents feel proud and good about their son. There's no monetary value to the parent feeling proud about the son who's being responsible. See? So he's earning this invisible credit while he's earning the material credit for the material act of doing the chore.
Also, as long
Yeah, right?
so as
Right?
long as your acts, your action, like make other people happy, then you earn something.
Yeah.
Not
So
just money.
exactly.
But I was thinking, I mean, if I pay my kid to do chore, that cancel it out. You don't earn anything.
Well, there's also the internal stuff. There is also your own inner being. You can do a chore, get paid, and feel shitty about it. Then you have just pulled yourself down.
Well,
Right?
it's
Even if a
both.
parent, yeah, so there's two parts. There's the inner being part, our own, responsibility for our own inner state. We can do the chore and we have a bad mentality, a negative mentality, then we have already pulled ourselves down. We're now below sea level. We're already drowning in suffering. Then we may make other people feel good. Okay, our parents may feel good. Okay, so the child is responsible. The parent feel good, so you earn the credit you earn the invisible credit for making a parent feel good. But if you yourself feel bad about doing the chore, then you are already negative.
Well, I feel bad about paying them.
Then you
I
are actually
don't believe in.
hurting them. Think about it. Okay.
I teach
Yeah,
them a lesson.
yeah. See, so you're
I
paying.
let them, they will earn the merit, right? They
Mhm.
will earn a good fortune, but in the same time, I will, tell my kid that, okay, this is how life works. When you grow up, you go to work, you do a good job, your boss will pay, you get good pay. That's it.
Yeah,
You
that's
do
fine.
bad job, they get rid of you. You get fired, right? You
That
don't, yeah. So,
that is
uh,
the causality of the worldly view. That is
right.
the traditional way of understanding causality, and that's fine. It works. Okay, but here we're trying to expand your awareness about causality beyond what we've already known.
Oh, okay.
Especially when it comes to feeling bad about other people in our family. When a person in our family do something and we feel bad, right? Then guess what? By the law of causality, by the golden rule, they have just caused us to go negative. They have earned a negative seed in their fortune. After a
So,
while, guess what happened to our affinity with the other person?
mhm.
Our affinity, our attraction. Instead of being attractive, instead of being positive and attractive, our affinity with that person, our family member, it's going to go negative. If we don't take ownership of our own inner being, our own mentality, and our own inner state, we will inadvertently cause our family member to earn negativity in their spiritual account. And after a while, our affinity with that person will disintegrate.
Yeah, but what happened when they don't do chore? So they get mad because I get mad, right? They don't do chore. And when I, tell them,
Yeah,
then
then everybody goes negative
right,
and take
both way, right? They do it, but they're not happy doing it. So it's negative. They have negative. I have negative. So
yeah,
we both don't
yeah,
get
yeah.
anything.
That's called wisdom level basement. Yeah.
So that's
Okay.
why sometimes I just
That's
like,
wisdom negative. There's no wisdom there. There's no awareness. There's no wisdom there when we go negative and we cause other people to go negative. That's why, conflict and war drag everybody down. It begins with a tiny little seed of awareness within ourselves.
but I still don't get it though. It's like, okay, if I do all the chore for them, then they become lazy. They think that okay, they own it. The world, own them something. But if they forgot to
Well,
do it, or I make them do it, then we both, have negative feeling.
yeah, then you don't have any wisdom.
But then if I keep doing it for them,
But
they're
you
not.
already you already learn about wisdom, level 1 and 2 and 3, and you already learn about the principle of light. Okay? How can you apply the principle of light? How can you talk to your children in such a way that they would want to do it and still feel good about doing it and you feel good about it?
Okay.
Okay? In order to do that, I think we will have to talk about the energy of honoring gratitude. But before we get to that, Andrew, do you want to share anything? Any question or impression on this topic?
Well, I had some big experience today that was an interesting one. I don't. It's how when we're faced with negativity and other okay. The only part I can associate to what we're talking today is to plant a seed in others. You plant a seed of awareness, positivity. Let's just say there was a terrible situation today which stemmed from one individual. He caused grief. This person has a business. He did, he caused such negativity to his customers. It's horrible what he did. He sold somebody's car that he was repairing. Okay. So he caused huge negativity to many people. The police were there today. And the young man who was crying, a 20-year-old, about a 20-year-old, he was frustrated. He was sad. He was mad. He was negative. And I was affected as well, but I kept balanced. And I'd been dealing with this for a few weeks, and I kept balanced the whole time. And anyway, the young man in front of me, I told him, I said, "You'll be okay." I said, "You're going to learn from this, and it'll make you stronger." So I found a bit of positivity to give the young man, and he will. He'll get over this situation. The mechanic sold his car. It's like he stole his car. Okay. So you said that, I can't remember how you put it, but our job is to plant a good seed. And so basically, we're always going to try to stay positive in every situation. And today is a test. Today is a test for that young man. Anyway, I tried to plant a little seed. I mean, the world with its unfairness. This is a small thing. No one really got physically hurt. This is a small thing. But to stay positive when there's that much negative, it's quite a challenge. It wasn't for me because, it was a few $100s for me. But anyway, you said to plant seed and it earns us a credit. So we need to keep planting seeds. I'm not looking for credits, but it's the right thing to do to add balance to the world. I guess we're adding balance to the world. You got the negative and you offset it with the positive, and hopefully we can get a balance. Okay. That's all I got to say. I don't know what else to say. You said a lot today. Every time we sit and listen to you, Frank, we come out better. Thank you very much. That's all I got to say.
Thank you for the sharing. Okay, I'm very grateful for that. Very heartfelt. I'm touched by your empathy. Your words of sharing does make a difference. Okay, and yeah, by the law of the golden rule, it's gonna come. You're gonna reap the reward of that. We don't know when or how.
I'm not looking for any rewards.
That's good. That's good. That's actually better. That's even better.
I'm imperfect. I've done negative. I do positive. I pray for humbleness and to be pure. I need help. I can't do it on my own. I don't think anyone can. We're born sinners.
Well, don't
just
don't. So you on a positive streak. You want a positive streak. You were going positive. You were saying, beware of your hearing and seeing and talking and knowing. You were going positive, 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 and then you wipe all of that out with the statement, "We're all sinners."
Well, Frank, I'm not going to judge anybody. But as good can be. I can be good, good, good. I can be positive, positive, positive. The negative is there. It's there. It's up to me somehow to keep positive. I cannot do it alone.
Okay.
There is negative that comes. I don't know where I'm not going to tell you where I think it comes from, but negative comes. It's there. It's around me. It wants to come through me. You know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So I pray to the Almighty to give me His power and strength. I cannot do it on my own.
Okay.
And that's where I stand on that.
Yeah,
we all need some kind of strength, blessings. That's why we said we are blessed, right? To be a human being. But from the learning, I'll say so. That what happened to that young man? What I understood or what I remember is that in his past life, he did something. So if that mechanic doesn't steal his car, somebody else will, right? It's something like that. From
So
the learning.
if we take the law of causality, if we take the golden rule to be real, then we will also understand that at that moment of the young man having his car stolen, it is the outcome, it is the fruit that he is receiving as a consequence of some seed that he has planted in the past.
So, Frank, can I just simplify what you're saying is what comes around? You said this before, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. What goes around comes around. Okay.
So within our so within I'm going to just use myself within my life. I was born in 1970. So within my span of time, the seeds, the negative seeds I've sown, what what I the negative, what comes around goes around. Is that basically what you're
And
saying?
if we take the golden rule and the causality and limit it to only within this lifetime, then we cannot explain all the consequence that we experience. If that young man may be a perfect law-abiding citizen, he has never stolen from anybody, he has never hurt anybody, but it's still possible for him to experience negativity. It's
I believe.
possible for other people to steal stuff from him or hurt him. The only way to explain why a person experienced unfortunate circumstances without having seemingly done anything bad for other people is to extend the lifetime beyond this one to previous many past lifetime.
Okay, we haven't. You just touched that today
Yeah,
with the Dalai Lama
accidentally.
and the Nirvana and
Yeah.
touched it. Okay, so we're not there yet. Okay, so
Right.
there's a
So
lot. There's a
right.
lot more to this.
Yeah.
Okay,
So yeah. So with a limited
you
one
know, can I
time
mention
perspective.
something in this? It's strong to me. We read it.
Mhm.
I hear it in the Bible that I can't quote, but generations are cursed
Yeah.
for someone's
And
for
and it's
sin.
weird it's weird to say that we suffer the sins of our parent. Okay, that's
Exactly, right? Right? Is that
yeah,
what we're talking about here?
the
Yes.
original sin. The idea that we suffer the sin of our parent, that's make no sense. But
Well,
if we understand that we are our parent, that we did live those multiple past lifetime, we were
okay.
our great grandparent, we were our great 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 parent a million lifetime past. We may have planted some seed. And then now when we come back and we come back and we keep on coming back and we now are reaping the outcome of those seeds that we have planted ourselves.
Am I my own individual? It sounds like now I am not my own individual. I
Well, you are
am
your own.
I
Mhm.
am from someone else, another generation. I wasn't even alive. I am a carry forward. I am carrying forward. I was another being. That's what we're talking about here. And going forward, I'm going to be another being. And we're trying to balance this out.
Mhm.
Very
Well,
complicated stuff. We're not
it
there
is
yet.
not.
We're
It
just
is
touching.
not. We're not another being. Okay. Do we all agree that deep within us there is something that does not change over space and time? There is something that will move on after this body falls apart.
We're talking about the spirit, our
Spirit,
spirit.
soul, being, whatever you call it, right?
When I say being, I mean the human form.
Hmm.
Human.
Yeah.
We just happen to be. We're the same spirit. Well, from what you're saying, we're not getting into this now. I don't want to complicate things. But we're a spirit that continues, right? The spirit never dies. We know that,
Mhm.
but we're a different form or a different being, human being.
Some people claim that they remember past life. Okay,
Yeah.
some people claim that they remember past life, that they were different person, they will be a different male or female, they were in different job, and they claim to remember. And later on, when we learn about wisdom level 4, we will discover that there are certain knowledge that a person can have without having to accumulate those knowledge in this lifetime. There are knowledge, especially regarding human experience, that we simply have come simply coming from nowhere, but we didn't learn it in school. And it can be traced back to the possibility that we may have already acquired those knowledges in the past lifetime. We are only accessing it now. And there are ways to access those knowledge. Okay.
So from what I understood is something negative happened to you. Just don't feel bad, right? It's like, hey, if
Don't feel bad. It just the course of life begin with me. I planted those seeds. Now I'm reaping those, and that's it.
yeah,
So
just don't feel bad. Move on. You learn from the lesson, and that's it.
we make decisions, and there's consequences. Sometimes it's interesting. This situation I had to make decisions weeks ago, months ago. There's a good mechanic. He's a good mechanic. He can fix, he's got a better mind or experience than some other mechanics. But he's got some issues. It's risky to go to him. But when he gets onto it, he can do a good job. And so he beats other mechanics, other guys. You got to pay the price sometime. I mean, it's never perfect. You know what I realize? To give people, you need forgiveness. You got to accept their imperfections. But there can be consequences. You can get bit. You can get bitten.
Don't complicate it too much. Okay, let's do this.
Help me out.
We learned about the
Hey.
different levels of wisdom and different energy of mentality. And so here's a quick and dirty ways to protect ourselves. Okay. Against any suffering. Okay, against any suffering, simplest, shortest way is to activate the energy of serenity. Okay. Against anger, when we feel angry, initiate the energy of magnanimity.
We talked about that last week.
Yeah.
Magnanimity.
And when we find ourselves resenting, okay, resentment or blaming somebody or something, we want to protect ourselves by drawing the lesson, honoring the lesson, and being grateful for it. Okay, so instead of complicating things, instead of letting the mind run that engine that doesn't stop, it will only tend to draw us down, pull us down. We already understand wisdom. Okay, this is serenity is wisdom level 3. Magnanimity is wisdom level 2. Honoring gratitude is wisdom level 1. Okay. Let's take some time to talk about magnanimity. Let's do that one. Okay, since there's a little bit of energy that requires some magnanimity. When we encounter a situation or another person that makes us angry or upset, okay, how do we initiate magnanimity to save ourselves and save other people? Okay, I think it's appropriate to talk about the concept of magnanimity. For those of you who are Mentor 7, For the mental wit, if you're studying the philosophy, trying to get the vocabulary in English, be careful. My sharing is different from the wit sharing. Okay, so if you study my sharing, you may not pass the exam. But I find it's useful for the context of the people that we're interacting with, especially people in the West. Magnanimity. So don't use the word magnanimity when you're trying to do the exam in the wit uh, courses. Before we get to magnanimity, let's talk about forgiveness. Actually, I'll give you a bunch of words relating to it. Would you agree that forgiveness or being forgiving is, a virtuous thing to do? Okay, it is a good thing to do. Okay,
Yes.
good idea to forgive.
Yes.
At the same time, consider the word lenience, lenience. Okay, and consider the word mercy, and consider the word tolerance. Okay, tolerance. Okay, let's see. So forget everything else for now. Let's just see if we can get this on a deeper awareness level. Pretend this cup that I'm holding represent the fault that other people commit against us. In fact, imagine this cup holding 10 parts worth of other people's fault. Okay, the fault that they have committed against us. A person of forgiveness, a person who has who has the quality of being a forgiving person, initially would break all 10 part of the person's fault. Okay, a forgiving person initially take all 10 part into themselves. Over time, that severity gets reduced down to maybe 8 or 7. And then at some point they decided, you know what? I'll let it go. I forgive you. Okay, I let it go. I forgive. But of course, if the other person commit the same fault again, a forgiving person will take in all 10 point worth of fault. Okay, feel that severity. And then over time, if needed, the severity would just kind of die down to maybe 8 or 7, and then they find the need to forgive the other person. Okay, so that's the forgiving person. The word that ever heard of the phrase, I can forgive, but I cannot forget. I can forgive you, but I can't forget. If you do it again, I'm going to take in all 10 points into my body again, to my being again. I will feel the pain again. And then I will have to forgive again, if only to save myself from the pain of suffering. A lenient person, or a person who has the quality of leniency, somehow through their human nature, through their mind and their emotion, when another person commit 10 points worth of fault, a lenient person feel that it's only maybe 6 or 7. So they only take in 6 or 7 parts worth of the other person's fault. Over time, the severity kind of die down to maybe 5 or 6. And it becomes more simple for a lenient person to let it go. Hence leniency. All right? A lenient person somehow, by way of their human nature, their personality or whatever, the way they perceive things, the way they hear, they see, the other person is worth 10 points, but they only take into themselves maybe worth 6 or 7. And over time, the severity dies down to 5 or 6. Then they can find it more simply to let it go. Now, a person who has the quality of mercy, who is merciful, is even better. A person commit 10 points worth of fault. A merciful person has the quality of thinking about the other person. That instead of taking all 10 points worth of fault, they only take in maybe half of it. Okay, 5 or 6. And because they only take in half of it, over time it gets reduced down to maybe, 3 or 4. They find it more simple to let it go. Hence, they are merciful. Not only that, the virtue of mercy is about protecting the other person. Because if the other person, let's say, get caught for a crime they commit, and the punishment is dealt in equal to the crime, then the crime will be too severe. The person who commit the crime or person who commit the fault they will have to suffer too much. So a merciful person would want to let it go more quickly, would reduce their sentence. We ask the court for mercy when we get in trouble. We ask God for mercy because the severity of our sin, if matched with the punishment of our sin, would totally annihilate it. But because God is merciful, something about God, okay, is merciful, or the law has a certain, the law has a certain way that can grant us mercy, because the severity of the punishment would totally undo us. And so in general, a person of mercy finds it more simple to let go of the fault, much more than even a lenient person, much more than a person of forgiveness. And that is a different dimension of awareness. A tolerant person is even better. A tolerant, and I'm going to borrow the definition of tolerance from the from the UNESCO, United Nations Education and Science, something like that. UNESCO is a United Nations entity that try to promote peace and well-being in the world. And United Nations has a definition of tolerance that we can borrow from. It said, tolerance is to respect and deeply understand the differences of others compared to oneself. Before that, a tolerant person is a person whom, at the other person's fault, they commit 10 points worth of fault. A tolerant person, by way of their understanding of the other person and the nature of their fault, only take in maybe 2 or 3. They don't feel a lot of hurt by it. Over time, the severity may die down to 1 or 2, or maybe not much at all. So a tolerant person can make it very simple for them to let go of another person's fault, okay, by this progression. And so the definition of a tolerant person, or tolerance, is to respect and deeply understand the differences of others compared to oneself. In customs, in lifestyle, in belief, in religion, in races and ways of action, it means accepting that others may do things one does not agree with, within certain limit, in order to guide them toward goodness through their own awareness. Okay? In other words, a tolerant person has a certain awareness and perception and is accepting of differences in custom, lifestyle, belief, religion, race, ways of action and thinking. And so other people's fault, they don't find it to be a big deal. They can be very tolerant. And so they don't take the fault into themselves, and they don't get hurt by it. And they find it more simple to let it go. Because you see, to take another fault into our person is nothing more than to drink the poison and expecting the other person to die. We're essentially hurting ourselves. Every time somebody commits something that we consider a negative, and we take it within our being, we go negative. Okay, the Bible tried to protect us from this. When Peter asked Jesus, you know, in the Old Testament, they teach a person to protect themselves by forgiving another person 7 times. So Peter asked Jesus, "Is it true that I have to forgive another person 7 times?" And Jesus said, "No, that's not enough. You need to forgive 7 times, 7 times. That's 49 times." But a forgiving person is a person who is taken in the fault. 10 points worth of fault, and they taken 8 or 9, 7 point worth of fault. Over time, even if it died down to 6 or 7, they've taken a lot of other person's fault into themselves. To forgive them another person 7 times is to protect, to save yourself 7 times. To forgive another person 7 times, 7 times is to have been hurt 7 times, 7 times. That's a lot of hurt. But we have wisdom. We have level 2 awareness. Root cause of life begin with me, but it's not my fault. Because root cause of life begin with me, it's not the other person's fault either. So there is no need to forgive. Don't need to blame myself either. You see? And in order to do that, in order to not have to forgive, in order to be tolerant of others and accepting that others are different from us in customs and lifestyle beliefs and thoughts and ways of being and ways of thinking and acting, in order to be tolerant, we have to have a great spirit. The word magnanimity comes from the word magnanimous. Magna is a Latin word for great or big. Animus is spirit. Great spirit. How great can your spirit be? As big as you want. Is it big enough to contain everybody and everything? Is it big enough to hold within our being another person's potentiality? Is our spirit big enough so that we can see another person, not for their fault, but for the potential of goodness? Hence, wisdom level 2 is the creation of hearing and seeing, the creation of positive mental images. When another person behave and we consider a fault, that's not wisdom level 2. That's wisdom level 1. We see good and bad. We see should or should not. We see like or dislike. That's just wisdom level 1. That's awareness level 1. With wisdom level 1, okay, we sort of ignore the bad and we focus on the good. Yes, the person may have done something wrong, but they have all these great things, and we try to magnify the great thing. But wisdom level 2 is root cause of life begin with me. The other person is not relevant. Even if what they do to me, even if an act of, injury is done by another person, root cause of life begin with me. I planted those seeds. If the person steal my car, I planted those seeds. Yeah, I stole other people's car or other people's horses or donkey in my past life. Whatever it is, I accumulated within my person the type of energy that caused me to encounter negativity. See, the human being, we have this weird thing. We take responsibility and we take credit for the good thing that happened. Okay? If our child performs well, we say, oh yeah, I raised him. I taught him. But if our child misbehaves, that's his mother's fault. That's his friend's influence.
Good.
Right? Notice that?
Yeah.
Yeah. We tend to take credit for the good outcomes in life, but we don't take responsibility for the bad outcome in life. We get a raise. Oh, that's all me. I did all the good things, so I get a raise, I got a bonus at work. But if we get reprimanded by the boss, or we get fired, or we get laid off, we blame the economy, we blame the job. No wisdom there. When we take responsibility for ourselves, we take responsibility for the good thing and the bad thing. If our child misbehave, because of life begin with me. If our child accomplish, because of life begin with me. If I get a raise at a job, great, because of life begin with me. Actually, we'll learn a way to protect ourselves from arrogance later. Humility is a good idea to protect ourselves. Okay, but you see the level 2 wisdom. Okay, so with level 2, it is the energy of magnanimity. It is the mentality of being so great and so big that we can embrace other people. We can be tolerant with them to the degree that we do not need to forgive them. Because a forgiving person first has to have taken in 10, 8 or 9 parts worth of another person's fault, had to have already suffered, and only by letting go will they save themselves from suffering. Leniency is better, not so much suffering. Mercy is even much better. You start thinking about the pain of other person, so you reduce the sentencing. Even the word tolerant has limit. Even tolerant has limit. The UNESCO has a definition that tolerance is accepting within limit. But if we can even rise above that, don't even tolerate, just be magnanimous. And how can you be magnanimous without being, without suffering the pain of other person's fault? Then we go to the triangle of reality of magnanimity. Okay, so magnanimity. So like a triangle of reality, there is the material expression, there's the energy, and the information. Okay, the material expression of magnanimity is tolerance, mercy, lenience, depending on where you are along your line of awareness and perception. These are the ways that you can express yourself, but we invite you to move beyond forgiving, to reach a state where you are at least tolerant, accepting that others may be different than us. And so when we accept that others may be different than us, then we don't take what they do to be fault. They may steal our car, but that's just the way they think. That's fine. The root cause of life begins with me. That's a material expression of magnanimity. And because it is material, it can be limited as well. The energy of magnanimity is a state the energy of magnanimity is a state of being where our desire and imagination cease. cease, right? Yeah, but stop. Do you notice that we only suffer when we have some desire in imagination, some expectation of another person? We expect the other person to be certain way, and when they don't satisfy our desire and imagination for a certain way of being, we take that to be fault. We expect or we desire our children or our spouse to do a certain thing, behave a certain way. And when they are different, and if we fail to accept that, we fail to tolerate, we suffer. But if we can learn to recognize that, oh, I have a certain desire and imagination about this individual with respect to their behavior, and the instant that I stop desire and imagination, it just kind of dissipates. And so whatever they do, okay. Okay. When desire and imagination cease is when we can begin to initiate the energy of magnanimity. We can afford to be magnanimous to anyone if we stop desiring and imagining what we want them to be. That is why in the interaction of the root cause of life, the formula for the root cause of life, we also say that the essence of anything is empty because another person is essentially no one. They have the potential to be anyone. That moment we seize our desire and imagination, and we are not attached to what they do, so we don't find fault. In fact, the information, the source concept of magnanimity is the a state of being unattached to anything that is within us that has been impacted by external circumstances. Even if we have a certain mindset, even if we have a certain feeling, those are the things that is within us. Okay? Even if we have a certain feeling, even if we have a certain thought, but if we can detach from those feelings and thoughts, if we become unattached or detached, I think the better word would be detached. If we can detach from our own inner feelings and thoughts, then it become more ready for us to seize our imagination for other people, becomes more possible to be tolerant for other people. I just write unattached to anything inside us that was affected. We haven't come up with an official translation yet, but this is what I got. Unattached to anything inside it that was affected by external circumstances. Okay. At the moment of encountering another person's behavior or action, we may have an immediate reaction to it. It is our level 1 awareness. Okay, we think it is good or bad. We feel good or bad. Usually bad. And then upon recognizing that, we immediately become unattached to that. Yes, I may have some feeling, I may have some thought about it, but detach from it. The moment we detach from it, separate from it, our desire for the other person momentarily cease. And then we become more tolerant to them. If we don't, then it starts to hurt. We drink all 10 part of their fault, then we may have to find the need to forgive them later on. But if we attach, then they keep on repeating. We may have to forgive the second time, third time, seventh time, 49 times. That gets very tiring after a while. But a person with magnanimity rise above the need to forgive. Rise above the need to forgive. If we can rise above the need to forgive, and if our spirit is big enough, magna, animus, if our spirit is big enough to rise above the need to forgive, then we can hold anyone, behold anyone. To behold, okay? Beauty is in the eye of the behold. You can behold the way we look at another person. We can invent new possibility for who they are. We can look at another person in a totally different eye. And if we can, if we're big enough to hold and behold another person, then we can actually afford to love them. Not any type of love. We can actually love them unconditionally. Magnanimity can lead to unconditional love because we're not attached to their fault. Doesn't matter what they do, we can still love them. Doesn't matter who they are, we tolerate them. Because we are unattached, we can love unconditionally. That is a better way to be a human being. All right, so you can apply this to any circumstances that we have experienced today, or in this past week, or in the upcoming week. Okay, whenever somebody do something, and immediately we have the awareness level 1, good and bad, we may feel bad. Immediately elevate our awareness to level 2. Because of life begin with me. I am experiencing this outcome now because I have planted those seeds sometime in the past. And I am now level 2 from awareness level 1 because of life begin with me. I elevated to level 2 wisdom. I'm unattached. My desire and imagination for this other person cease. And so they are no one. They are no one. Whatever they do, I'm unattached to it. And then I can find it more simple to tolerate. Okay, so let's move to the word tolerance. And if you're tolerant, you don't have to bother with forgiveness. A person can come back and say, I'm sorry for hurting you. I say, that's fine. I'm not attached. And when you can do that, when we can tolerate another person, when we are unattached, we are, number one, we are protecting ourselves. We are not going negative. We're staying positive or balanced and positive. And number two, we protect the other person. Because if we go negative, that means they have caused the negativity. They have earned a bad seed into their negative fortune account. Immediately, they may experience the effect of that cause. Immediately, we get mad and we may hurt them back, right? Revenge. Right? We get mad that somebody yell at us, we may yell back. Somebody may hit us, we may hit them back. But Jesus teaches us that if somebody slaps you on the face, offer them the other face. You can only do that when you're unattached. Jesus said when somebody tries to rob your outer coat, offer them your inner coat as well. We can only do that when we are unattached to the coat. We are unattached to the action. We can totally tolerate it if we have the energy of magnanimity, if our spirit is great enough, if we can love unconditionally. You guys get that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so magnanimity saves us from anger. Okay, save us from anger. Okay. Yeah. And as we go through life, we accumulate. Let's write those fortune down. Those good fortune down. We accumulate good fortune. Okay. We accumulate bad fortune. And we accumulate merit, balanced merit, neither good nor bad. What we don't want is accumulate bad fortune. And so when we, in our speaking from now on, you may hear me refer to accumulating blessings and merit. This is just a convention for our interaction with each other. Okay, we're gonna focus on the good fortune, which we use the religious term of blessings and merit. Okay, blessings and merit. And you know what? We can only accumulate blessing and merit through people. It is the affinity with another person. We can just sit there on our own and accumulate good fortune. Yes, we can cause ourselves to feel good. We can, we have a wisdom and awareness, and we can protect ourselves. We can, behave or think and feel positively. We can manage our own inner state with wisdom and awareness and mentality. But we can only accumulate good fortune or blessings and merit through people. So you want to write this one down. People are engine of blessing and merit. Okay, people are engines of blessings and merit. It is only through people can we accumulate good fortune, good blessings and merit. We can't just, well, there are other ways to increase your awareness and wisdom. Usually you do that you can do that by contemplation and meditation. But very, very, very few people are able to, through personal contemplation and meditation, acquire wisdom and enlightenment. Another way to quickly earn the merit, the balanced merit, is to help other people expand their awareness and wisdom. Okay? Another way to earn the merit is to help other people become wiser, to help them become more mature, to elevate their levels of wisdom, to expand their awareness. To help another person recognize the truth within themselves. Okay? That true nature is such a simple thing, but we don't recognize it because we're always looking outside of us. At any moment in time, you can help another person come back to their true self. Just become aware of the hearing and seeing, the already always knowing and the talking. And they can experience a degree of serenity and peace. And as a consequence, our own mind will expand, our own wisdom will elevate, and we will have more choice if you are going to borrow the Buddhist perspective. Okay, that's all I have for today. Any more questions? Hello, Mr. Sangha. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, Mr. Phương Phan, and hello, everyone.
Mr.
Okay.
Sangha is in Minister 5. He's in yeah, go ahead.
I remember the story of two angels, two little angels. Yeah, we can apply that story to this, right?
Let me see if I can remember that story.
But I don't want to go on and on. I like to talk. So.
Yeah, let me see if I can. Let me see if I can tell the story. Let me see. So, according to the Buddhist philosophy, a human being can acquire enough blessings and merit to rise to a level of high advanced being that they call angels. Okay, not the same as Christian angel, but the idea that you can through the process of helping people and you can accumulate, cultivate, and acquire enough blessings and merit, enough credit in your good fortune to become an angel. Okay, to live in a place. So one day, let's see, I don't remember. So there's this angel, very, very good, okay, very loving, looks down and sees humanity full of suffering, okay, full of suffering. And then the angel tells the heavenly king, says, Lord, I want to come down to earth and help the people come up to heaven. Okay, the sweet angel said, I want to come down to earth and help people go up to heaven. And Heavenly King says, sure, why not? But in order to that, you have to become just like people. Okay. In fact, in order to reincarnate, you will also forget that you were ever an angel. Okay. And the only way for you to come back to heaven is to earn enough blessings and merit through helping people. And the angel said, yeah, okay, I am willing to do that. I'm willing to become human again. I'm willing to forget that I was ever an angel, and I'm willing to be with the people so that I can have a chance to help them go back up to heaven. And the heavenly king said, fine, but in order to earn the blessings and merit, you will have to encounter suffering. The only way to encounter, the only way to earn balance and merit is to transform those sufferings into positivity, those negativity into positivity. You're going to have to encounter some pain and suffering. But since you are an angel, you have already accumulated a lot of pain and a lot of points. You've already accumulated a lot of good fortune. When you reincarnate, your life is going to be very good. Your life is going to be very fortunate. You may never have to encounter any pain or suffering, and thereby you will not have a chance. You may not have a chance to earn any your way back up. And so this angel has a best friend. This best friend said, I know, I can help. I can be the friend who will cause the pain and suffering, and thereby forcing the other friend to overcome it. And so two angels comes down to earth. One angel live as human being. The other person also live as human being, but occasionally will come into the first angel's life and will cause pain and suffering, thereby forcing the little angel to to overcome pain and suffering by way of magnanimity. So that's a sort of like an analogy. Each of us could be angel. Each of us, we could have, by many lifetimes of accumulating and cultivating and acquiring positive fortune, we may have already ended up in heaven, but maybe because we love humanity and we want to be with them and we want to help them, we are now with them. And occasionally, a person will come along to cause us a lot of pain and suffering. And the only way for us to earn our way back up is to be positive, to be magnanimous, to not only help us, but to help other people go positive. Just a little story. I don't know if I say it right, but I hope it illustrates the spirit of the lesson. The idea is to apply the golden rule to help other people become more positive and then earn our way back up. And of course, if you don't think about your own benefit of going up, that's even better. Okay, because in the human construct, the human nature, desire has positive and negative. Desire, if we desire positively, we think about other people's benefit. We earn the positive energy. If we think about ourselves, even wanting to go to heaven is thinking about ourselves, that's negative. Even wanting to liberate, that's negative. So we actually lose credit when we think about ourselves, when we are selfish, even if that means wanting to go to heaven or wanting to go to nirvana and liberate, ultimate liberation from suffering. It is the wanting for ourselves that really push us down and prevent us from going up. So by becoming unattached to our own desire, we will accumulate positivity without losing it through selfishness. Thank you, Marianne, for reminding me of that story. I think I'm going to go back and reacquire, reaccumulate, and recultivate that story and see if I can tell it correctly next time. Okay. Any question or impression? Anybody realize anything new today? No?
Yeah, forgiveness. I don't know how to say what Mark Lily or whatever. I just say forgiveness. You know.
Leniency, mercy.
Yeah, being mercy, forgiveness will save my life.
Forgiveness.
Right. I don't.
Magnanimity, essentially saving your own life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't. My blood pressure will not rise. Hey, and my mind is clear. As long as I don't see that person again. And that's not why. But I mean, yeah. I mean, just let it go. Let it go. That's what do we say? Let it go and let God. That's what I remember. Let it go. Let God.
But that's you've already suffered. Okay, so forgiveness is something that we use to save ourselves, but we've already suffered for it. Too late. We've already drank the poison. Don't forgive. Just be magnanimous. That is the level of awareness and perception that I invite you to evolve toward. Don't forgive. Just be detached from it, and you don't go negative. The moment that you go negative, you're
Này
also
nấu món gì
á?
á? Nấu xong rồi phải ăn nha.
So the moment that we become negative, we're already hurting another person too, indirectly. They've earned a negative credit into their account when we go negative, when we get angry, we get upset. Okay, so it's a scary thing, especially with our own family member. If we resent them, we blame them, we become negative toward them, we cause their fortune to go down. Their life is not going to get better. So we better protect ourselves and better protect other person by not forgiving. That means not feeling the hurt in the first place. We're not saying don't forgive. We're saying don't be so fast to take the poison. No, thank you. Okay. You give me the poison, I don't need to take it. That is an awareness and perception, a wisdom. Okay, let's go ahead and practice that in this week, and next week let me know what it's like. Okay. Alrighty. I'll see you guys next week. Okay. Take care.
Frank,
All right. Thank you, Frank.
Bye bye.
Fun.